So I did a video the other day on budget shelter kits. Today we're going to actually build that shelter. It's about, I don't know, it's in the single digits, probably about 6-7 degrees out right now. We just got some new snow. We're going to go over how to build a budget super shelter. The super shelter was Morris Kohansky's deal. Very, very smart man came up with this. This is a little bit modified from his, but still the idea is his, and I give him credit for that, obviously. But we're going to be using some of that mason's twine, some of that cord from Walmart, the painter's tarp, the 2mm painter's tarp, and then our drop cloth, and then the tarp we made out of the 2 plastic bags. I also have some poles here. I want a ridge pole, and then 2 support poles, and I'm going to put a pole down at the bottom also because we don't want to have to mess around drive stakes, and we're going to tie everything off. So I'll start off by putting up this ridge pole. I have this measured out, and I'm going to lay it out just like this. I'm going to use Canadian jams to tie these off, so you don't really, I'm not going to show you how to do that because I have videos on that. Morris Kohansky has videos on that. So we'll just start getting this shelter put together. Alright, from here you can see I just Canadian jammed up a framework, and this framework is meant so this tarp will spread out in between and we'll tie it off on the corners. Now there's a reason I'm using a framework. There's snow, alright? Anytime you think there's going to be snow or a chance of getting snow, and if you're using a super shelter, that's more than likely the case because it's the winter time, otherwise it's too warm. You should have a poled shelter. I've seen people do this with ridge lines before, but without the poles, it's not going to have the support to keep the snow off. It's going to sag, and it's going to be a smaller and smaller space in there. And so using poles is always a good idea. I'm going to finish tying this on. And all I'm going to do is tie it off on these corners, down in the corners, that support pole down there, and then this tarp will be up. Alright, you can see I've got this attached. The pole's going to support the front. The support pole's going to support the back so you get snow on it. I didn't put a little tie off on here just to keep it down. The pole's got a little bit of a curve in it. It's no big deal. Next thing I'm going to do is take my emergency space blanket and I'm going to tie it up in the corners here so we'll be able to reflect heat back down. And then I'm going to throw the tarp over the top of it, the poly tarp, the clear one. Probably take that back. I'll build my insulation bed and then I'll put that poly tarp on. That way I'm not fighting that the whole time. Then we'll take a look and see what that looks like. Alright, so we've got the space blanket put up. We've got an insulation bed. I even took some and bundled up so you have a place to keep your head up. Nothing more miserable than sleeping with your head down. Good, at least 12 inches of loft here. I got a couple of logs to keep it from spreading out. And the last thing we're going to do is run that big piece of clear plastic over the front. I'm going to secure it to it, probably using the duct tape I have. See how that works. If not, I'll end up tying it off with bank line and buttons. So we'll see how it ends up. Alright, so you can see insulation beds, logs in. I just put this 9x12 piece of plastic in the front. You can tuck that into that log if you want, or you can use it to be able to feed your fire at night because a long fire goes in front of here. The first time I ever used duct tape to secure these sides of this plastic, it's pretty cold and it's actually sticking, so we'll see how well it works. I'm going to let this sit up for probably about 3 weeks, just like this, and we'll come back in 3 weeks and see how it is. But this whole shelter was built for under $10. The cord was $1.37. This was $3. The tarp that I made out of duct tape was probably about $1 worth of duct tape. Was 70 cents because I bought a bag, box of those contractor bags, right? And they were $7 for 20 of them, so that's 35 cents a piece. And then a little bit of duct tape, like I said. It's a pretty cheap shelter. So you can actually make a winter shelter for less than $10. You don't have to buy expensive stuff. I would be not afraid to stay in this at all with a long fire in front of it. Matter of fact, I might in about 3 weeks when I come back up here to teach class. So anyway, a budget, super budget shelter. That's something that you can reuse again also.